A new arrival. The Galactic University of Sciences hung suspended in the inky void of space, a marvel of engineering and a beacon of knowledge for the most brilliant minds across the known universe. Its crystalline spires and pulsating energy fields formed a mesmerizing spectacle against the backdrop of swirling nebula and distant stars. For centuries, this institution had been the pinnacle of higher education, a melting pot of ideas where the greatest alien intellects converged to push the boundaries of science and technology. Today, however, was different. Today, the university was about to welcome its first human student. Zara Chen stood in the teleportation chamber, her heart pounding with a mixture of excitement and trepidation. At just 18 years old, she was not only representing herself, but all of humanity. Earth had only recently been discovered by the galactic community, and she was the first of her species deemed worthy of attending this prestigious institution. As the teleportation beam engulfed her, Zara felt a tingling sensation throughout her body. In an instant, she was transported from the familiar confines of Earth to the alien world of the university. As the beam faded, she found herself in a vast, iridescent hall filled with creatures beyond her wildest imagination. Towering, multi-limbed beings with translucent skin moved gracefully across the floor. Floating orbs of pulsating light communicated in melodic tones. Insectoid creatures with compound eyes and shimmering exoskeletons chittered excitedly. And there, in the midst of this alien menagerie, stood Zora, 5 feet and 6 inches of human determination. A hush fell over the hall as the aliens noticed her presence. Zora could feel their eyes, or various sensory organs, upon her, scrutinizing every aspect of her unfamiliar form. She straightened her back, took a deep breath, and stepped forward. "Greetings," she said, her voice steady despite her nerves. "I am Zara Chen of Earth. I am honored to join you at the Galactic University of Sciences." For a moment, silence reigned. Then, a cacophony of voices erupted, some curious, others dismissive, and a few outright hostile. A bipedal carbon-based life form. How quaint. I heard their planet is barely out of its industrial age. What could a human possibly contribute to our advanced studies? Before the situation could escalate, an authoritative voice cut through the chatter. Silence. The crowd parted to reveal Dean Tyrelock, the university's esteemed leader. A being of pure energy contained within a hovering, ornate vessel, Tyrelock approached Zora. "Welcome, Zara Chen of Earth." Tyrelock's voice resonated with warmth and wisdom. "We are pleased to have you join our esteemed institution. Your presence here marks a historic moment in galactic academia." Zara bowed slightly, remembering her cultural sensitivity training. "Thank you, Dean Tyrelock. I'm eager to learn and contribute to the best of my abilities." As Tyrelock began to explain the orientation process, Zara couldn't help but notice the skeptical glances from the alien students around her. She knew she had a long way to go to prove herself, but she was determined to show that humanity had something unique to offer the galactic community. The next few days were a whirlwind of new experiences for Zara. She struggled to adapt to the alien technology that permeated every aspect of university life. Simple tasks like accessing her class schedule or finding her way around the campus became Herculean efforts as she grappled with unfamiliar interfaces and non-Euclidean architecture. In her first quantum mechanics class, Professor Zulith, a gaseous being contained within a shimmering force field, posed a complex problem to the students. As Zara's classmates effortlessly manipulated holographic equations with their various appendages or mental powers, she found herself scribbling furiously on a piece of paper with an old-fashioned pencil. "Ms. Chen," Professor Zulith's voice condensed from the swirling vapors, "are you experiencing difficulties with the holo interface?" Zara felt her cheeks burn as all eyes turned to her. "I'm more comfortable working things out by hand, Professor. Our methods on Earth are a bit different." A ripple of amusement passed through the class. One student, a crystalline being named Axel, spoke up. "Perhaps the human would be more suited to a remedial class. We wouldn't want to hold back the rest of us." Zara bit back a retort, focusing instead on her calculations. As the other students submitted their answers via the holo interface, she approached the professor's desk with her paper solution. Professor Zillith examined Zora's work, the gaseous form swirling more rapidly as it processed the information. After a moment, the professor addressed the class. Interesting. While Ms. Chen's method is unconventional, her solution is not only correct, but includes an elegantly simple proof that I haven't seen before. A murmur of surprise rippled through the classroom. Axtel's crystalline form flickered in what Zora assumed was the equivalent of a frown. As the days passed, Zora found small ways to adapt. She learned to use her tablet as an interface with the alien systems, bridging the gap between her familiar technology and the advanced alien networks. She spent hours in the molecular gastronomy lab, figuring out how to synthesize food that wouldn't send her into anaphylactic shock. Despite these small victories, Zora often felt overwhelmed and isolated. The vast differences in biology and culture made it difficult to form connections with her fellow students. Many viewed her with a mixture of curiosity and disdain, as if she were a primitive creature that had somehow wandered into their advanced world. One evening, feeling particularly homesick, Zora retreated to the university's arboretum. The exotic alien flora reminded her of Earth's jungles, and the familiar scent of vegetation brought her comfort. As she sat on a bioluminescent fungal growth, she pulled out a small hologram projector, a gift from her parents. The image of her family flickered to life, their smiling faces a reminder of why she had embarked on this journey. "I won't let you down," she whispered to the image. "I'll show them what humans can do." Unbeknownst to Zora, her quiet moment was observed by Lyrax, a multi-eyed, tentacled being who had been assigned as her peer mentor. Lyrax had been skeptical of the human at first, but seeing her determination and resilience had begun to change their perspective. As Zora turned off the hologram and prepared to leave the arboretum, Lyrax approached her. "Zora Chen." Lyrax's translator device converted their vibrations into English. "I couldn't help but notice your innovative solution in quantum mechanics class. Perhaps you would be interested in joining our study group." Zora's face lit up with a genuine smile. "I'd love to, Lyrax. Thank you." As they left the arboretum together, discussing the finer points of quantum entanglement, neither of them realized that this small moment of connection would be the first step towards changing the face of galactic academia forever. The human experiment at the Galactic University of Sciences was just beginning, and Zora Chen was determined to prove that humanity had earned its place among the stars. Unexpected strengths. Weeks passed at the Galactic University of Sciences, and Zora Chen found herself settling into a routine. The initial shock of her alien surroundings had faded, replaced by a determined focus on her studies. While she still struggled with some aspects of the advanced technology, her unique problem-solving abilities were beginning to shine through. In the xenobiology lab, Professor Crix, a gelatinous being with multiple pseudopods, presented the class with a challenge. "Today, we will be analyzing the genetic structure of a newly discovered species from the Andromeda Galaxy. Your task is to identify potential weaknesses in its immune system that could be exploited for medical treatments." As the class began their work, Zora found herself staring at the holographic representation of the alien DNA. While her classmates used advanced algorithms to run through millions of possibilities, Zora's human brain saw patterns that the computers missed. "Excuse me, Professor Crix." Zora raised her hand. "I think I've found something interesting." The professor's gelatinous form rippled with curiosity. "Proceed, Ms. Chen." Zora manipulated the hologram, highlighting a specific sequence. "This pattern here reminds me of a virus we have on Earth called influenza. It's known for its rapid mutation rate, which makes it difficult to treat. But what if we could use that to our advantage?" She went on to explain her theory, drawing parallels between the alien DNA and Earth's viruses. The class watched in stunned silence as Zora proposed a novel approach to creating an adaptable, self-updating vaccine. Professor Crix's form pulsated with excitement. "Fascinating. Ms. Chen, Your perspective is most unconventional, but potentially groundbreaking. This merits further investigation. As the class ended, Zara found herself surrounded by curious classmates, bombarding her with questions about Earth's diseases and medical practices. For the first time since her arrival, she felt a sense of belonging. However, not everyone was pleased with Zora's success. Dr. Vex, the head of the xenobiology department, watched from the doorway with narrowed eyes. The idea that a primitive human could outperform his advanced alien students was unsettling. As Zara's reputation grew, so did the complexity of the project she was involved in. One day, she found herself working in the quantum engineering lab, assisting with an experiment to create a stable wormhole for instantaneous communication across galaxies. The lab was a hive of activity, with students and researchers from various species working in perfect harmony. Zara was tasked with monitoring the energy fluctuations, a job that required constant vigilance and quick reflexes. As the experiment reached its critical phase, alarms suddenly blared throughout the lab. The wormhole was becoming unstable, its energy levels spiking dangerously. "We need to shut it down," shouted the lead researcher, a crystalline being named Zixtal. "The containment field is failing." Panic ensued as the alien students rushed to their stations, frantically trying to stabilize the wormhole. But in their haste, they overlooked a crucial detail that Zara's human eyes caught. "Wait!" Zara yelled above the chaos. "The power distribution is uneven. We need to realign the quantum stabilizers." Without waiting for permission, Zara sprinted to the control panel. Her hands flew over the alien interface, making adjustments based on her intuitive understanding of the system. "What are you doing?" Zixtal demanded. "You'll cause a catastrophic collapse." But Zara didn't stop. She could see the pattern, could feel the rhythm of the energy pulses. It was like a dance, and she was leading. "Trust me," she said through gritted teeth, making one final adjustment. For a moment, the lab held its breath. Then, miraculously, the alarms fell silent. The wormhole stabilized, its swirling vortex a perfect, placid circle. Zixtal's crystalline form shimmered in disbelief. "How? How did you do that?" Zara wiped sweat from her brow, her heart still racing. "I noticed that the energy distribution mirrored the Fibonacci sequence, a mathematical pattern we see a lot in nature on Earth. I just had to adjust the stabilizers to match that sequence." News of Zara's quick thinking spread through the university like wildfire. Students who had once dismissed her now sought her out, eager to learn about human perspectives on science and mathematics. Lyrax, Zora's tentacled mentor, approached her after the incident. "You continue to surprise us, Zara Chen. Perhaps there is more to humans than we initially believed." Zara smiled, feeling a warmth of acceptance she hadn't experienced since arriving at the university. "We may not have your advanced technology," she said, "but humans have always been good at thinking outside the box." However, as Zara's star rose, so did the opposition to her presence. A group of conservative faculty members, led by Dr. Vex, began to voice concerns about the human contamination of their esteemed institution. In a closed-door meeting with Dean Turlock, Dr. Vex made his case. "This human's unorthodox methods are disrupting our carefully calibrated curriculum. Her presence here was meant to be a diplomatic gesture, not a true integration into our academic community." Dean Turlock's energy form pulsed thoughtfully. "And yet, Dr. Vex, we cannot ignore the contribution she has made in such a short time. Perhaps there is value in diversity that we had not anticipated." Dr. Vex's exoskeleton clicked in agitation. Value or danger? How long before her human ideas begin to infect our students, undermining millennia of scientific progress? As the debate raged behind closed doors, Zara remained unaware of the storm brewing around her. She was too busy embracing her newfound acceptance, diving deeper into her studies, and exploring the vast potential of combining human ingenuity with alien technology. One evening, as she sat in the university's grand library, surrounded by holographic books and data streams, Zara felt a tap on her shoulder. She turned to see Axel, the crystalline being who had once suggested she take remedial classes. Zara Chen. Axel's voice resonated with a hint of hesitation. I wish to apologize for my earlier behavior. Your recent actions have shown me that there is much we can learn from each other. Would you be willing to collaborate on a project? Zara's face broke into a wide grin. I'd be honored. Axel, what did you have in mind? As the two began to discuss their ideas, mixing human creativity with alien precision, neither of them realized that their collaboration would soon spark a revolution in galactic scientific thought. Meanwhile, in the depths of the university's administrative sector, Dean Xerlock made a decision that would change the course of the institution forever. Prepare an announcement, the dean instructed an aide. We will be expanding our human enrollment program. It's time the galaxy embraced a new perspective. As the news spread, reactions varied from excitement to outrage. But one thing was certain: the arrival of Zara Chen was just the beginning. The Galactic University of Sciences, and indeed the entire galactic community, was about to enter a new era of discovery and innovation, fueled by the unexpected strengths of humanity. The Xenobiology Challenge. The announcement of the expanded human enrollment program sent shockwaves through the Galactic University of Sciences. Corridors buzzed with excited chatter, holographic message boards lit up with debates, and even the usually stoic floating orbs pulsed with heightened energy. At the center of this storm stood Zara Chen, the catalyst for change, both thrilled and terrified by the impact of her presence. As Zara made her way to the grand amphitheater for a special assembly, she couldn't help but notice the mixed reactions from her fellow students. Some greeted her with newfound respect, while others cast wary glances, unsure of what this shift might mean for their academic futures. Dean Xerlock's energy form shimmered with anticipation as the assembly began. Esteemed faculty and students, the dean's voice resonated through the hall. In light of recent developments, the Board of Governors has approved a groundbreaking initiative. We are proud to announce the first intergalactic Xenobiology Challenge. A holographic display materialized above the stage, showcasing a mysterious, swirling nebula. Your task, Dean Xerlock continued, will be to analyze and propose solutions for terraforming a newly discovered planet within the Whirlpool Galaxy. This competition will test not only your scientific knowledge, but also your ability to work in diverse teams. The amphitheater erupted in a cacophony of excited whispers and anxious murmurs. Zara felt a mix of excitement and apprehension. This was her chance to prove that humanity truly belonged among the stars. As the assembly dispersed, Zara found herself approached by an unlikely group. Axel, the crystalline being, along with Lurax, her tentacled mentor, and Zixtal, the researcher from the quantum lab, stood before her. Zara Chen. Axel's voice resonated with a newfound warmth. We would be honored if you would join our team for the Xenobiology Challenge. Zara's eyes widened in surprise. Really? You want me on your team? Zixtal's crystalline form shimmered with amusement. After your performance in the quantum lab, we'd be fools not to include you. Your human perspective might be just what we need to tackle this challenge. With a grin, Zara agreed, and thus began an intensive period of preparation. The team spent countless hours in the library, poring over data streams and holographic simulations. They debated theories late into the night, their diverse backgrounds leading to heated but productive discussions. One evening, as they were reviewing the atmospheric composition of the target planet, Zara had an epiphany. Wait a minute, she said, manipulating the holographic display. These gas ratios, they're similar to Earth's atmosphere during the Carboniferous period. Her teammates looked at her blankly. Zara explained excitedly. It was a time when Earth's oxygen levels were much higher. It led to the growth of massive plants and insects. What if we could use Earth's evolutionary history as a blueprint for terraforming? The idea sparked a flurry of activity. They began incorporating elements of Earth's prehistoric periods into their terraforming plan, creating a unique hybrid of alien technology and Earth's natural history. However, as the team made progress, they faced unexpected obstacles. Strange equipment malfunctions plagued their lab, key data files went missing, and their research notes were mysteriously altered. It became clear that not everyone was playing fair. One day, Zara overheard a conversation that made her blood run cold. Dr. Vex, the xenobiology department head who had opposed her presence, was speaking in hushed tones with a group of students. "We cannot allow this human and her sympathizers to win," Dr. Vex hissed. "The reputation of our institution is at stake. Do whatever is necessary to ensure their failure." Zara's heart raced as she realized the extent of the opposition they faced. She rushed to inform her teammates, and together they devised a plan to protect their work and expose the sabotage. Lyrax used their multiple eyes to keep constant watch over their equipment. Axel developed a crystalline encryption method for their data, impenetrable to anyone outside their team. Zixtal set up quantum-entangled communication devices, allowing them to share information instantaneously and securely. Zara's contribution was uniquely human. She introduced the concept of misdirection. They created decoy plans, letting false information leak to throw off their rivals. It was a strategy straight out of Earth's history of espionage and warfare, something their alien competitors had never encountered before. As the day of the challenge approached, tension in the university reached a fever pitch. Teams from across the galaxy arrived, each confident in their superior intellect and advanced technology. The air crackled with competitive energy and the hum of sophisticated equipment. The morning of the challenge, Zara and her team gathered in their assigned lab. Despite their preparations, nervousness was evident. Zara looked at her alien teammates, beings she now considered close friends, and felt a surge of determination. "No matter what happens," she said, her voice steady, "we've already won. We've proven that different species, with different ways of thinking, can come together and create something amazing." Axel's crystalline form glowed with emotion. "Zara Chen, you have taught us more than you know. Win or lose, you have changed us all." As the klaxon sounded, signaling the start of the challenge, the team sprang into action. Holographic displays came to life, complex equations filled the air, and the lab hummed with the energy of scientific discovery. Hours flew by as they worked tirelessly, combining their unique strengths. Zara's intuitive leaps complemented Axel's precise calculations. Lyrax's multitasking abilities meshed perfectly with Zixtal's quantum insights. They were a symphony of diverse talents, working in perfect harmony. As they neared completion of their terraforming proposal, disaster struck. A power surge, suspiciously localized to their lab, threatened to wipe out hours of work. But Zara, drawing on her experience with Earth's less reliable technology, had insisted on regular backups. Within minutes, they were back on track, much to the visible frustration of Dr. Vex, who was monitoring the team's progress. With seconds to spare, they submitted their proposal, a bold, innovative plan that combined cutting-edge alien science with lessons from Earth's evolutionary history. As the submission deadline passed, an eerie silence fell over the university. The fate of their hard work now rested in the hands of the judges. As they waited for the results, Zara couldn't help but reflect on her journey. She had come to this alien world feeling small and out of place, but now she stood tall, surrounded by friends who valued her for her uniquely human perspective. Whatever the outcome, she knew that she had found her place among the stars. Little did Zara know that the results of this challenge would not only determine the winner of a competition, but would also set the stage for a fundamental shift in galactic society. The impact of a human girl's arrival at the Galactic University of Sciences was about to reach far beyond the walls of academia, touching the very fabric of intergalactic relations. As the judges deliberated, the universe held its breath, waiting to see if the unconventional collaboration between a human and her alien teammates could truly reshape the future of galactic science. Triumph and turmoil. The Galactic University of Sciences Grand Amphitheater was packed to capacity a sea of diverse alien forms buzzing with anticipation. Holographic displays flickered above, showcasing the various team submissions for the Xenobiology Challenge. Zara Chen sat with her teammates, her heart pounding so loudly she was sure the silicon-based lifeforms 3 rows back could hear it. Dean Xerlock's energy form pulsed with an air of solemnity as it hovered at the center of the stage. Esteemed colleagues, honored guests, and dedicated students, the dean's voice resonated. We have witnessed an unprecedented display of scientific prowess and innovation. The judges have deliberated, and we are ready to announce the results of the first intergalactic Xenobiology Challenge. A tense silence fell over the crowd. Zara felt Lurax's tentacle give her hand a reassuring squeeze. In third place, Dean Xerlock announced, the team from the Andromeda Institute of Planetary Sciences. Polite applause rippled through the audience. Zara's team exchanged nervous glances. In second place, the team from our very own Department of Quantum Xenobiology, led by Dr. Vex. Dr. Vex's exoskeleton bristled with barely concealed disappointment as he accepted the runner-up prize. His eyes narrowed as they swept across the audience, landing on Zara with unmistakable hostility. And now, Dean Xerlock's voice swelled with excitement. The winners of the first intergalactic Xenobiology Challenge, with their revolutionary proposal combining advanced alien technology with insights from Earth's evolutionary history, Team Terra Nova. For a moment, Zara couldn't process the words. It was Axtel's crystalline chime of joy that snapped her back to reality. They had won. Their unconventional approach, their blend of human intuition and alien precision, had triumphed. As they made their way to the stage, the applause was mixed with murmurs of surprise and scattered objections. Not everyone was pleased to see a human-inclusive team take the top prize. Dean Xerlock presented them with the award, a mesmerizing holographic trophy that shifted between representations of various alien and Earth landscapes. Your work, the dean proclaimed, has opened new avenues of research that we had not thought possible. You have shown us the true power of diversity in scientific endeavor. As Zara stepped up to the podium to deliver her team's acceptance speech, she felt the weight of countless alien eyes upon her. She took a deep breath, remembering all the challenges she had overcome to reach this moment. Fellow scientists, researchers, and explorers, she began, her voice steady. We stand here today not just as the winners of a competition, but as proof of what we can achieve when we open our minds to new perspectives. Our proposal doesn't just offer a way to terraform a distant planet. It represents a new way of approaching galactic challenges. By combining the vast knowledge of alien civilizations with the unique evolutionary history of Earth, we've created something truly revolutionary. Her words seemed to resonate with many in the audience. Zara could see nods of approval and thoughtful expressions on various alien faces. However, there was also an undercurrent of tension, particularly among some of the older faculty members. As the ceremony concluded and the teams began to disperse, the amphitheater buzzed with excited discussions about the implications of Team Terra Nova's victory. However, the triumph was short-lived. Dr. Vex, still smarting from his team's defeat, approached Dean Xerlock with a group of senior faculty members in tow. This is an outrage, he hissed, his exoskeleton clicking furiously. The human's presence has corrupted the integrity of our institution. We demand a full investigation into their methods. Dean Xerlock's energy form flickered with concern. Dr. Vex, surely you're not suggesting. I'm not suggesting anything, Dr. Vex interrupted. I'm stating facts. Ever since this human arrived, our time-honored traditions and methodologies have been under attack. And now, this so-called victory threatens to undermine millennia of established xenobiological principles. The commotion attracted the attention of other faculty and students. Soon, the amphitheater was divided into factions, with heated debates breaking out across the room. Supporters of Zara's team argued for the benefits of new perspectives, while traditionalists rallied behind Dr. Vex, calling for a return to conventional alien scientific methods. Zara and her teammates found themselves at the center of a storm they had never anticipated. What should have been a moment of celebration had turned into a political battleground that threatened to tear the university apart. As the debates raged on, news of the controversial win spread beyond the university. Galactic media picked up the story, broadcasting it across countless worlds. The idea that a primitive species like humans could contribute meaningfully to advanced alien science was met with a mix of fascination and skepticism throughout the galaxy. Political leaders from various alien civilizations began to weigh in. Some saw the human contribution as a promising sign of galactic cooperation, while others viewed it as a threat to the established order. The Galactic Council, the highest governing body in known space, called for an emergency session to discuss the implications of increased human involvement in advanced scientific endeavors. Back at the university, Zara and her team found themselves under intense scrutiny. Their research was picked apart, their methods questioned, and their motivations scrutinized. Despite the pressure, they stood firm, confident in the validity of their work. Zara, in particular, became a focal point of both admiration and controversy. She received messages of support from progressive factions across the galaxy, including a few from her home planet, Earth. At the same time, she faced increasing hostility from those who saw her as a disruptive force. One evening, as Zara was leaving the laboratory after another long day of defending her team's work, she was confronted by a group of alien students led by one of Dr. Vex's prodigies. "You don't belong here, human," the alien sneered, its bioluminescent spots pulsing with aggression. "Why don't you go back to your primitive world and leave real science to advanced species?" Zara stood her ground, her voice calm but firm. "Science isn't about where you come from or how advanced your species is. It's about the pursuit of knowledge and the ability to think in new ways. If you can't see the value in diverse perspectives, then maybe you're the one who doesn't belong in real science." Her words seemed to strike a chord with some of the onlookers who had gathered. A few nodded in agreement, while others looked thoughtful. The confrontation dissipated without escalating further, but it was clear that the battle for acceptance was far from over. As the controversy continued to swirl, Dean Thurlock found herself in a difficult position. The dean believed in the value of Zora's contributions, but also had to consider the stability of the university and its standing in the galactic academic community. In a private meeting with Zora and her teammates, Dean Thurlock's energy form pulsed with a mix of pride and concern. "Your work has the potential to revolutionize our understanding of xenobiology and terraforming," the dean said. "But it has also brought unprecedented challenges to our institution. We stand at a crossroads, not just as a university, but as a galactic society." Zora looked at her alien friends, beings she had come to respect and care for deeply. She thought about Earth, a planet that had only recently joined the galactic community and now found itself at the center of a scientific and cultural revolution. "Dean Thurlock," Zora said, her voice filled with determination, "we didn't set out to cause controversy. We simply followed the scientific method, collaborated openly, and arrived at our conclusions honestly. If that challenges the status quo, then maybe the status quo needs to be challenged." Axel's crystalline form shimmered in agreement. "The human speaks truth, Dean. We cannot unsee what we have learned through our collaboration. To suppress this knowledge would be against everything our institution stands for." Dean Thurlock's energy form brightened, a sign of approval in their species. "You're right, of course. Change is never easy, but it is often necessary. We will stand by your work and face these challenges together. The Galactic University of Sciences must lead the way in embracing new ideas, no matter their origin." As they left the dean's office, Zara and her team knew that they were standing on the precipice of a new era. The ripples of their victory in the Xenobiology Challenge had turned into waves that were reshaping the landscape of galactic academia and beyond. Little did they know that their greatest challenge and their greatest opportunity to change the galaxy still lay ahead. As news of the controversy reached the highest levels of galactic government, Decisions were being made that would alter the course of interstellar relations forever. The human experiment at the Galactic University of Sciences was about to have consequences far beyond anything Zara Chen could have imagined when she first set foot on this alien world. As the controversy surrounding Zara Chen and her team's groundbreaking research continued to reverberate throughout the galaxy, the Galactic Council convened for its emergency session. Representatives from hundreds of alien civilizations gathered in the grand amphitheater of the Council's space station. Their diverse forms a testament to the vastness and variety of life in the universe. The debate was fierce and multifaceted. Some council members argued that humans, as newcomers to the galactic stage, should not be allowed to participate in advanced scientific research that could affect the balance of power. Others saw the human contribution as a fresh perspective that could invigorate stagnant fields of study. Ambassador Krila, a being of pure energy from an ancient race, addressed the council. For millennia, we have prided ourselves on our openness to new ideas and new civilizations. Yet now, faced with genuine innovation from an unexpected source, we hesitate. Are we truly as enlightened as we claim to be? The chamber buzzed with a mixture of agreement and dissent. In the midst of the debate, an unexpected message arrived from Earth. The human. The debate, an unexpected message arrived from Earth. The human government, aware of the situation, had made a bold proposal. They offered to host a galactic scientific summit on their home planet, inviting researchers from all civilizations to collaborate on pressing issues facing the galaxy. This proposal sent shockwaves through the Council. Earth hosting a galactic summit. It was unprecedented. Yet, it was also an opportunity to bridge the growing divide. Back at the Galactic University of Sciences, Zara and her team watched the Council proceedings with bated breath. When news of Earth's proposal reached them, Zara felt a surge of pride and apprehension. This could change everything, she said to her alien friends. But are we ready for it? Axtel's crystalline form shimmered with excitement. Ready or not, the change is coming. We must embrace it and guide it as best we can. Dean Exerlock called an emergency meeting of the university's faculty. The Galactic Council has asked for our input on Earth's proposal, the dean announced. As the institution at the center of this controversy, our recommendation will carry significant weight. The debate among the faculty was intense. Dr. Vex and his supporters argued against the proposal, claiming it would give humans too much influence. Others, inspired by Zora's team's success, argued in favor of greater collaboration. In the end, it was Zora who stood up to address her colleagues. I know many of you still see humans as primitive, as outsiders, she began. But consider this. Every species represented in this room was once new to the galactic community. Every civilization had to prove its worth. Humans are not asking for special treatment. We're asking for the chance to contribute, to learn, and to grow alongside all of you. Her words resonated with many, and when the vote was called, the faculty narrowly decided to support Earth's proposal. As news of the university's decision spread, Zara found herself thrust into the spotlight once again. Interviews, debates, and speaking engagements filled her schedule. She became a symbol of human potential and interspecies cooperation. But with increased visibility came increased risk. One evening, as Zara was returning to her quarters, she was ambushed by a group of anti-human extremists. Just as the situation was about to turn violent, a group of her alien classmates intervened, putting themselves between Zara and her attackers. The incident made headlines across the galaxy, showcasing both the tensions and the bonds that had formed at the university. It also solidified Zara's resolve. She knew that the path ahead would be challenging, but she was more convinced than ever of the importance of their work. As preparations for the Earth Summit began, Zara and her team found themselves at the forefront of a new movement. They began organizing collaborative research projects that would bring together scientists from diverse species and backgrounds. As she looked out at the alien world that had become her second home, Zara knew that the greatest challenges And the greatest discoveries still lay ahead. The story of humanity's rise in the galactic community was just beginning, and she was helping to write its first chapter.